Hi folks, Justin here. So we're going to be going over mass attempts today. Let me jump on over into my account and I'll be able to show this to you live. So mass attempts means that when we record an attempt, we can apply that attempt to several jobs. So when we apply attempts to several jobs, we can record it, and then it will appear on all of these jobs that we have listed. So I made some dummy jobs here that we're going to test on. In the spirit of the Super Bowl, we're going to be pretend serving some people that I feel are responsible for not getting my favorite team to the Super Bowl. So there are mass attempts work both on the desktop and the mobile site, and both allow you to choose the jobs. And then also ServeManager is pretty smart. So ServeManager can actually identify attempts that have another job listed at that address. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. First, let's see how we can choose these jobs and record an attempt. So first, we're going to select these jobs using these white check boxes next to them. Then after the jobs are selected, I can use my mass action options menu. Now, when I pull down this menu, you can see all of our mass actions listed here. And then we also have an additional option that's brand new and what we're going over today, and that's the ability to record an attempt. So we're able to record an attempt that applies to all 5 of these jobs. So when I select record attempt, as you can see over here on the right-hand side, these are the jobs listed and included on this attempt. So if we want to remove anybody or any of these jobs from this attempt, we could do so inside of this screen, and we could do so by just unselecting that job right there by unchecking that box. So then when we go and record their attempt, it's just like recording an attempt regularly. We can set our process server. We could set the date and time. The current date and time will populate there. We could choose our service type. And then we can even apply a description of service, and these would apply to all of the attempts recorded in each of these jobs. So then down below, we can choose our recipient. We can choose whether or not we would like to select or use the recipient already listed inside the jobs, or we also have the opportunity to overwrite that recipient. So if we're serving them all to one person, we can check this box right here and we can type in that name. And then below, we can choose our service address, and we're going to take this directly to Heinz Field. And then down here at the bottom, we have, once again, our email addresses and our share boxes. So here we can choose whether or not we would like to send an email to the client contact on each job. And then we also have the ability to send an email to the employee server listed on each job. Of course, we can uncheck these, and then we could also select the contacts there manually as well. So here we'll save this attempt. And then it will alert you that we've saved this attempt to 5 jobs. Now I'll unselect these jobs real quick, open them back up. And there's that attempt right there that we've already recorded. And it's recorded right there inside. So another way that we can save and record attempts is by letting ServeManager find those addresses that match. So here, I'll open up one of my jobs, and I'll go and I'll try to record a new attempt, and I'll do so by selecting new attempt. And then I'm giving a prompt here at the top. And this prompt says that there are 4 other jobs located at this address. And I can click here to create an attempt for all of these jobs. So let's click here. Once I click that job, or once I click letting them know that this is the same address, I can then choose which people, once again, who I would not like to include on this attempt. And then once again, I can choose, just like I do on all of my other attempts, choose what kind of service type, apply my description of service, and I can choose to overwrite the recipient on all jobs or have the recipient name that's already recorded inside the job just take place there. So this time I'm going to leave that box unchecked. We set our service address and then we save. Once again, we're notified that this attempt was saved to 5 jobs. I open up the jobs and I can view the attempt, and we can see that it was served to the recipient that we set up in the job and not any other recipient that we may have chosen. So that's how we record a mass attempt on the desktop. Next, let me show you how we record mass attempts on the mobile site. So once again, to get to the mobile site, we can get there using this link at the bottom to select mobile site. And the mobile site will take us here, back to our mobile site, which I'm sure you're all aware of. So when we want to make an attempt on one of our mobile jobs and have it be a mass attempt, we'll select new attempt here. Then always remember to allow ServeManager to access your location. And then once again, even on the top of a mobile site, we have the notification that we can click here to create an attempt for all of these jobs. So all the jobs also located at the same address, we can lump those together for a mass attempt. And we can do so by just selecting click here. And clicking here will then create a new attempt, allowing us to check which jobs that we would like to include on this attempt, the address in question, and then below, just the same as it is on our desktop site, we can choose who we'd like to serve. We can overwrite the recipient. We can enter in all of our other information. We can even choose who we're emailing. And then when we save the attempt, that attempt is then saved to 2 jobs. So another way that we can do mass attempts, but this way we can choose the jobs, we're actually going to have to use our desktop site. So we'll begin here, and you can get to your desktop site on your mobile device by scrolling to the bottom of your screen and selecting the desktop site link. And that will take you back to your desktop site. What I recommend doing, especially if you have to do this on your mobile device, is to lump your jobs together by job status. So that way you can just quickly apply a job status and have all of the jobs that you need generated right here. So now we're going to go through, just like we were before, selecting these jobs, and then we'll select record an attempt, like I showed you before. But now we're going to use this link. And this link allows us to view this page in the mobile screen, and then we'll also record these attempts with the GPS. So I'm going to click on this link. And this will take us over to our mobile site with all the jobs already selected and also showing us exactly where that serve is supposed to take place. And then once again, below that, we get to our standard job attempt information where we can choose the attempt type. We can choose whether or not we'd like to override the recipient. And we can even apply the description and choose who we would like to email this to as well. When we save the attempt, we're then alerted that this attempt has saved to 5 jobs. So folks, are there any questions about using mass attempts? When will mass attempts be added? Well, mass attempts are actually already active and they are available to you. So when we want to activate mass attempts, we could do so by selecting My Account and then going into your settings. We'll just need to scroll down just a little bit until we get the setting here that says Enable Mass Attempts. When you check that box and you click the Save button, then your mass attempts are then saved, and that feature is then now available for you. All right. Any other questions, folks? Can we do mass notes on the mass jobs? We don't quite have a mass note feature quite yet. So right now, our mass features just are for attempts. Of course, you can apply an attempt description to those attempts and let everybody know what happened inside of those attempts in general. Or you could also send them and share them as well, but we don't have the ability to share a mass note. So when you enable, so I have a question. When you enable mass attempts, does it enable for your employees on ServeManager as well? Or do they have to do it individually? So when you enable mass attempts, you're enabling it inside of your own account. So if you have, so this will, that setting will then be in effect for you and all of your employees. Now for your contractors, they will have to actually log in and activate this themselves on their own end. So I got a general question here. Can we share files yet? If I upload a picture of service, how can my customers see it? Well, the way that we would recommend doing that would be through collaboration. When you collaborate with your client, they'll be able to log into their own ServeManager account and then view all of the information that you've uploaded inside of it, including any sort of documents you've uploaded, any pictures, or even any notes that you've decided to share, and of course, any of these mass attempts as well. Does mass attempt only list active jobs? So do mass attempts only work for?
I can answer that question, Justin. My name is Nathan. I'm one of the developers on this feature. Yes, mass attempts is only, well, when you go into the job, the new attempt screen, and it's looking for other attempts or other jobs at that address to give to you, it is only by active job. I believe on the jobs index pages that Justin was just on, it might allow you to add that as a mass attempt, like from the checkboxes. Justin can probably verify just to make sure.
Yeah, let's try it.
But yes, when you're on the new attempt page, and it's showing you other other jobs at that address, that definitely only shows active. And then, yeah, what he just did.
So if you were following along, I archived a job and then I selected it for mass attempt. So here I have 4 jobs. I'll go to all and I'll include this archive job. Then I could go to mass attempts. And I can still record a mass attempt even with an archive job. Okay. Any other questions on mass attempts?
Hey, Justin, it's Chad.
Hi, Chad.
You want to show them how to enable their collaborators to view MISC attachments and that invoices are also shared with collaborated users?
Yes. So we had a question about miscellaneous attachments being visible. That's actually a setting inside of your settings. So to get there, we'll select My Account and then Settings. And then we'll just scroll down just a bit until we get right here to the top where it says miscellaneous attachments are visible to companies you collaborate with. You want to make sure that box is checked, and then that will be visible to them. As far as invoices will be visible to your clients as soon as you issue them. So when you issue an invoice, it'll become visible to them. You can also, of course, even without a collaborating client, you could always print that invoice off and provide it to them physically, or you can email that invoice as well. Do we have any other questions, folks? So we got a question. Does the description work with mass attempts as well? Yes, it does. So we'll go back here. And we'll go back to our example jobs. So here, I'll select some of these jobs and we'll record an attempt. And we'll do a sub-personal serve. So if when we overwrite, then we can put in their details about the person themselves, their description. We can apply a description of service right here, and this will apply to all of those attempts. But if we want to apply the same recipient description, we could do so by overwriting, typing in the recipient name, and then also applying a description here as well. If we don't have this box checked, then what we have entered when we set up the job will then apply for these attempts. So the recipient and that recipient information that you put in when you entered in that job information, that will then apply to these jobs when you have this box unchecked, when you attempt a mass attempt. But when I check this box, then this information listed here that we enter here will then apply to the attempt, both of them or all of them that you have included in this mass attempt. And I'll show you right now. And then we'll open up the jobs. We'll view that service. Sorry. We'll view that service here. Sorry, it didn't work right. Create the mass attempt. Select service, apply the description. I'll say save. And there we go. Now when we open up these attempts, we can see that the description has been applied to it, and even our description of service has been applied to it as well. What if you are serving two different people? Can you change the physical description for both of them on the mass attempts? So if you're serving two different people and the recipient is two different people, then mass attempt isn't going to work for you. You're just going to have to record that attempt individually. Mass attempts will only allow you to apply one singular recipient, or you can apply the recipient already recorded inside of the job, but you won't be able to edit that recipient information unless you want them all to be the same.
Justin, if I may interject here, you can record a mass attempt if you want some of the other parts of the attempt, like the date and time and the process server and maybe emailing and visibility. But then if you need a different description for each of those recipients, you will need to go in and edit those jobs individually after you have saved that attempt. So you can kind of do it, but you'll have to go in and edit it if you want to do that.
But Nathan, also, if you don't check overwrite, it will use the descriptions and the recipients.
Yes, of course. If you don't check overwrite, it will use the job's recipient and description, but sometimes you don't know that description until after you've made the serve. So then you still might need to edit those attempts.
Awesome. Thanks for the insight, guys. Any other questions we got going on here? I have a question outside of mass attempts. How about attaching an attachment to a note? Any plans? We've heard that before. I know the guys are looking into it. I can't give you anything concrete to say whether or not that's going to be possible or not, but that is something that we do have listed on our radar. Any other questions, folks? Any questions about our mass attempts or just ServeManager in general? All right, folks. Well, if you still have any sort of questions, feel free to reach on out to us over at help@servemanager.com. Now, if you aren't a subscriber, be sure that you go to servemanager.com and start your free 14-day trial. We're offering something special here during this webinar. When you use the referral code webinar, you'll actually receive an additional 30 days free after your trial. And then once again, any other questions, comments, concerns, you can direct them over to us over at help@servemanager.com, or you can give us a ring during normal business hours during the week over at 800-280-4400. Folks, I would like to thank you very much for attending the webinar today, and I hope that it was informative. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe serving out there. Thanks again, folks.